This video is supported by Profit Accumulator. Profit Accumulator helps you to earn extra money by doing something called match betting. Match betting isn't gambling. And when you do it properly, and I mean properly, you can't lose. So get involved right now. Click the link in the description and sign up to Profit Accumulator right now. Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast with my man DT. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad. Today's show is brought to you by Profit Accumulator. DT, do you know the difference between match betting and gambling? Do you know the difference?
No, but I've got no doubt you're going to tell me.
Right, I'm going to tell you. Right, the difference between because there is a big difference, right? Now, the obvious is when you gamble your money, it's at risk unless you win the bet. If you don't win the bet, you lose the money. However, with match betting, when you follow the Profit Accumulator system, then it's risk-free and you always walk away with a profit. This is because match betting, they're looking at the result and they're only interested in the promotions the betting companies are running. Profit Accumulator helps its users to find out the very best deals on the market. And as long as you stick to their guidelines, there is no risk. So it's up to you. You can bet on your favorite team, like what we do, betting on Arsenal week in, week out and losing, apart from up to recently. It would disappoint you. Or you can go to profitaccumulator.co.uk. The link is in the description. And you can be smiling because you're always going to be up, right? So what are you waiting for? The link is in the description. Get involved right now. That is the difference.
Also, just very quickly there, I know that last part you were saying there about always being up. Yeah. I suppose that rules out Manchester United fans because they can only get to a semi.
Oh, United again, man. United again.
Sorry, I'm back to the usual self.
You're back to your usual self. Is that 5 semi-finals they've lost?
4 or 5, yeah, something like that under Solskjaer now. I think Solskjaer's only won, I think in Solskjaer's career, I see a stat last night, about 7 semi-finals or something he's had, even when he was at Mulder, and he's only won 1, and that was on penalties. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he needs to get some Viagra.
I sent a text to Flex yesterday.
So did I.
Yeah, and then he was going, "Oh, you guys, it don't matter." And I said, "Hold on a minute. I saw you on Sky on Monday saying you want it all. I want to win everything. We're Man United. We want everything." And I said, now all of a sudden, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I said, "Look, come on, give over." But yeah, Man United knocked out by City. I think that's the fourth time they're going to be in the final. Remember when they battered us up in that final as well?
Yeah, and we are all Man City fans now.
We're all Man City fans. Man City versus Tottenham. We're all Man City fans. Of course, we begin the defense of the trophy that we won, that never mattered. Of course, it was a Tin Pot Cup, according to the same Tottenham fans and Man United fans who were getting excited about the League Cup final, right? But we begin the defense of that this weekend, and I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to have a little chat about what sort of team we might put out, etc. But before we get into that, Ozil, Mesut Ozil,
it
looks like this is it. It looks like he's going to be on his way out. Fenerbahce, DC United, wherever it is. But it looks like this month of January is finally going to bring the curtain down on the career of Mesut Ozil. Now, I know you'd be all in tears and stuff like that because he's been always one of your favorite players. How are you feeling about it? He's finally going.
Yeah, I feel that given what's happened over the last year to 2 years, I suppose you could say, it's best for all parties involved. And that's not just Arsenal, that's Mesut himself. I feel that he brought something to the club at a time when we were so low in terms of those big names, those signings that we were always promised by Ivan Gazidis and how we were going to compete. A lot of us felt his signing was going to be the start of a new period for the club. You know, that part where we're going to be dominant and do things. And I remember the joy and the jubilation of when he signed. And let's be honest about it, everybody was buzzing. There was people outside the Emirates on the street blocking cars. It was scenes that I don't think we're ever going to see again. It was unbelievable. And then I remember going all the way up to his first game of the season, all the way up to the Northeast, and then straight away, bang, puts one on a plate for Olivier Giroud, and you're like, oh, mate. And then in that game as well, he actually laid on about a good 3, 4, 5 chances, and Theo Walcott was on the end of quite a few of them. And he would have had 4 or 5 assists on his debut if we had actually took our chances. But that was the beginning of it for me, where I was like, wow, this guy really is what we see in the videos and stuff like that. How did Real Madrid let him go? And at that time, remember, the likes of Sergio Ramos, Cristiano Ronaldo, they were publicly coming out and saying they were unhappy with the sale of Mesut Ozil. So that's how it started. I remember the Champions League goal that he scored, was it against Napoli, where it came across his body and with his left foot. I think it was Pepe Reina who was in goal at the time. The one that sticks in my mind, and obviously we were there together, would have been Ludogorets. Freezing cold, you know, 2-0 down at one point. Last minute, Mesut goes through over the keeper's head, leaves 2 on his bum, slides it in, and we win the game. And I think in my fan cam after the game, I actually said that I needed a new pair of trousers because I'd had a bit of an accident in them after watching that goal. So it was, there's been some great moments. I think his partnership with Alexis Sanchez was just phenomenal. The season where he nearly broke Thierry Henry's assist record by Christmas, and then Olivier Giroud decided, oh, I'm going to go 18, 19 games without a goal. There were some fantastic times there. I'm not one of these that's going to be a hater and, you know, dismiss his whole career at Arsenal and that he's done nothing. The facts are that he's the most decorated player in the Emirates history. 4 FA Cups. And he helped break that trophy drought. I can't really say much more than that. It's just the time now is come for it to move on. I think that we've got to see things over the last couple of years that some of us may have not wanted to see. I think Alexis leaving was probably the end of Mesut Ozil because he lost that part of his partnership. It never was the same again. He always seemed to be able to do what he wanted under Arsene Wenger. There never seemed to be some sort of like, you know, his name always got him on the team sheet. Mesut Ozil, the person, always was on the team sheet. He could, you know, miss away games whenever he wanted, and there would be a back spasm. But then a week later in the league game at home, he'd be available. So he always had that kind of, could do what he wanted. And then Unai Emery come in, and it was the first manager that turned around and said, your name ain't going to get you on the team sheet anymore. Go and work for your place. And if I remember Unai Emery's first game in charge, afterwards in his interview, he actually stuck it on Mesut Ozil about work rate. And that was the first time I've ever seen a manager actually, you know, pull it on him. And I remember that, and I was thinking, boy, he ain't going to mess about with Mesut here. He's like really saying, you know, you're the big guy, the go-to, the talisman, or whatever you might want to call it. We need you to perform like you should. Obviously didn't work out. Unai took him out, and then it just seemed to be a bit of a standoff between him and Ozil won. Ozil won that, and Unai Emery was ultimately sacked, and then Freddie came in. Same thing. Freddie bombed him out very quickly within the space of only managing a few games. And then Mikel Arteta comes in, and after a while, remember they were former teammates as well, and got on really well, but he was gone. He was done. I know a lot of people are using the comments about China as a way of saying as to why he's not in the team. My argument to that would be that after those comments, he played 12 games. So why, if that was such a problem, because at the beginning when he made them comments, it was a problem instantly. It wasn't something that, you know, reared its head a few months later. It was immediately just all over the place, and it was just absolute widespread. There was condemnation towards Arsenal and people backing Mesut. And let's get it right as well. What he said, there's nothing wrong with what he said. He's within his rights to, you know, express his opinion. And but it's the fact he played 12 games after. As to if that was such an issue, why did he play 12 games? You know, a lot of people are saying that we went into lockdown, come back, and Mesut had reverted back to type and couldn't be bothered.
A lot of it to do, maybe in my theory, or the starting of the end was him refusing to take that pay cut.
Yeah, possibly. That's one way of looking at it. I think it's a combination of things. It's not just one.
Yeah, but that's the one that pushed them over the edge, where they said, I just get the impression that somebody just said, you know what, he ain't playing there no more.
I'm done with it. Yeah, because
you know, he refused to take that pay cut, and by refusing to take that pay cut as the guy who was the highest earner, you know, and all the other players. Well, we heard there was 3 players, but you know, he's obviously the most senior player and the one who's on the most money. Refused to take it. That obviously didn't go down well, and then, you know, the comments about Gunnosaurus, the comments about, you know, when the 55 people got laid off, his further comments about that, none of that helped. And he was completely bombed out of the team.
Yeah, and
we're also hearing that there was a load of players who didn't want him there no more. That's what's come out.
Look, at the end of the day,
been coming out and saying that, you know, there's a load of players are saying, you know what, we back the club. We don't want him to play for Arsenal no more. You know, I mean, we've had enough of him. He's not a team player. He's only about himself. You know, that's the rumor. That's the rumor that's come out.
I don't think we'll know the truth for a little while.
Sorry, let me just give it to you. According to the Mail, so it was a number of influential members of the Arsenal squad and staff agreed with Mikel Arteta's decision to axe Mesut Ozil amid concerns over his commitment.
There you go then. And at the end of the day, these are the people that are there on a daily basis, week in, week out. You know, you can like somebody as a person, but not like the way that they do something.
Hey.
That's you, yeah, straight away, that's you. But
DT Ozil.
Hey, listen, don't start that, Robbie Ozil. But yeah, like you're gonna have like the Owen Robbie. You're gonna have this. But yeah, it's just the best for everybody all round. There's clearly fractions between the dressing room. I was looking at the clear out that we're clearly in the process of trying to have at the moment. And I feel that everything's like a domino. And I actually feel the first piece of that domino was Kolasinac. And I feel that the moment that he gone, that first domino tipped for the rest of them to all start falling down. And it's no secret that the likes of Mesut and even Socrates, they're all very close together. And Guendouzi's been kicked out of the team, and he's been bombed off to Germany. So he was another that's very close to Mesut as well. So it seems there's two different halves. There's the half that's backing, the manager and the club and everything. And then there's ones that are side over Mesut Ozil. And it seems that side is being told, off you go, bye-bye. Same with Mustafi as well. There's another one that's a friend of Mesut. And, maybe we're putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5, but that's the way it's looking from the outside in, that everybody that's connected in that kind of circle are the ones that the club are actively trying to get out of the door. And Kolasinac's the first piece of that jigsaw. Mesut's next. Socrates, we haven't publicly seen, him cause any problems. It looks like he's a model professional from the outside in, but obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Did he take a pay cut? That's the
Well,
other
one. That's the thing.
Another player who all of a sudden didn't figure at all.
Yeah. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, but I think that, once they've all gone, we don't need to ask them anymore. We can all move on.
What's his legacy?
At
Arsenal.
At Arsenal. I feel in terms of his talent, not what he's achieved, but I mean his talent alone is going to be one of the greatest in the Emirates era, especially talent-wise. There's no denying that a prime Mesut Ozil was the best. Let's be real about it. He was just a phenomenal player.
The best, yeah.
But
the best. What, the best at Arsenal?
No, not the best. I'm saying he could, in terms of his ability, not his achievements and the way it's all gone and everything. And I feel that we only saw that for a 2-3 year period. There was that year. The one thing that was missing was the year that Leicester won the title. We should have won it. And then he could have really had a legacy at Arsenal, because that was the season where he was blowing everyone out of the water. And you couldn't touch Mesut Ozil at that time. He was phenomenal. But he had players like Olivier Giroud and Danny Welbeck in front of him. And they ultimately let us down. You remember Olivier Giroud against Monaco in the Champions League at home?
The chances.
So at the end of the day, I've seen some people comparing, Mesut to Dennis Bergkamp and stuff. And please, I'm very privileged to have witnessed Dennis Bergkamp in the flesh. And
he's not near.
There's simply no comparison. Absolutely no comparison at all. And Dennis had won multiple trophies, league titles. He changed the culture of Arsenal Football Club along with Arsene Wenger. Dennis actually started changing the mindset of the culture inside Arsenal before Arsene had even came along. Because contrary to what some people believe, Arsene Wenger never actually brought Dennis Bergkamp to Arsenal. It was Bruce Rioch. And in that first year, we've seen interviews from Ian Wright and Paul Merson, and they talk about how on away trips he would wear like matching pajamas and stuff, and everyone would be looking at him like, what the hell, who's this guy? And Wrighty was like, I want to be like him. I want matching pajamas, and there'd be no alcohol. It was all fresh food and vegetables, and they were like, you know what, if this man Dennis Bergkamp is like this, I want to be like this. I want to model myself. So the culture of that change within Arsenal from a team that were, how can I say it in a respectful way, but a team that were full of players that would go and get pissed all the time, to put it bluntly. We've seen it on record that we've had players that were playing games drunk. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he changed that. Look, Mesut Ozil, yeah, I love the guy, and I thought he was an unbelievable player. But in terms of legacy, not right up there for me. I feel that there's too many questions. Too many. It's kind of.
So is his legacy a legacy of underachievement?
I'd say so, yeah.
You said about a lot of the good things there. Some of the other things, right? He was a passenger when we go to away games, right? He was an absolute passenger in away games. There was certain games, a lot of times against the big clubs, the big six, he wouldn't turn up. He never turned up in those games enough. And then I always remember him. You were there, I were there. The Champions League, I keep saying that, Europa League final, right? When he just trotted off after, again, it was all about him. That really angered me that day.
Yeah, it was everybody that day. It was when Ozil got subbed, yeah, it was the lack of
the way when he got subbed. He he didn't sprint off. He didn't. He just basically just slowly just walked, even though the game weren't over yet. And I don't know, man. He was
I know what you're saying.
And
do you remember
I think he was a great player, but I think it's a legacy of underachievement.
Yeah, do you remember Man City away when he went to walk off at the end and Mertesacker chased after him?
Yeah, and I had to say to him, "Yo, come back and say thank you to the fans." Yeah. And I just think it's a bit of a legacy because I was there that day when he signed, and I remember all those fans going crazy, spilling out onto the streets. I was interviewing fans, and they were saying, "This is it, Robbie. This is it. This is the turning point for Arsenal." Right? We've finally gone and got a world-class player. And I don't think all these years after that he gave us great moments, but he never consistently lived up to that tag. Now, I think there's reasons. Some of them are his fault. Some of them are Arsenal's fault. They never, ever put a proper defensive midfielder behind this guy and said to him, go and have a free role. Because Mesut Ozil's not tracking back. Mesut Ozil's not putting in a 50-50 tackle. Mesut Ozil's not closing down. He's not that type of player. He's a bit of a luxury player. You want him in there to create chances. He's all about attacking, yeah? And I just felt that over the years, we used to be screaming out, get a big holding midfielder. Somebody just does all the horrible stuff behind Mesut Ozil and then allows him to go and do what he does best. And then, like you said, we never gave him that really top quality attacking player that he could service. Not until Alexis. When Alexis came now, that's why those years, you quite rightly say, they were his best years because he finally had a world-class player playing alongside him. It wasn't Theo Walcott. It wasn't Danny Welbeck. It wasn't Olivier Giroud. It was somebody of the highest quality, and he was there and able to create chances, and they were a great combination. Yeah. But I think it's a legacy. I really do think it's a legacy of underachievement. And funny enough, we were doing a show yesterday, and we were talking about top 5 Arsenal players of the last 10 years. Right? Not including, take Henry out of it for him coming back and stuff like that, right? But I never had Ozil in my top 5.
It's tough, isn't it?
I'll give you my 5, yeah?
You know what? Let me just say a name very quickly, and it'd be interesting to see whether this is in your 5. But I feel that in terms of welcoming back former players to the club, I feel the fans would rather have a Santi Cazorla back than a Mesut Ozil.
I think the fans would welcome. Yeah, you're right, but fans would welcome back Ozil, I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of playing wise, I feel that the fans will believe there were.
Oh yeah,
Cazorla done more on the pitch.
He did.
Ozil. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me give you my 5. Right, Santi's in that 5. So you've got Santi in there. I've got Aubameyang in there, even though he's been here not long, but look at his goal scoring record in the time he's been here. Ever since, apart from the start of this season, he's delivered. He's won FA Cups and things like that. Right, he's been excellent. I've got Cesc Fabregas in there because I thought that he was an outstanding player. He was.
I know. Tetchy.
Yeah, with some of this, you've got to take the Judas part out of it. Yeah, but he's in there, isn't he?
He was a quality player, man.
You got to put Robin van Persie in there as well. You have to.
No,
No, hold on. Take the Judas part out. Wait a minute.
Name me the last one. Name me the last one, and then I'll go.
Give you my 5. You take the Judas part out of it, and the way he left.
I'll go to that.
Time that he was at Arsenal. In the time that he was at Arsenal, you've got to have him in it, and you've got to have Alexis Sanchez in it. That's my 5. That's my 5. Cesc Fabregas, Santi Cazorla, Aubameyang, Alexis, and RVP, and then I'd even possibly have Rosicky in there ahead of Ozil.
Wait a now, I actually thought you were going to say Sami Nasri for a minute, but
I didn't know.
But the one thing I'll say about RVP, getting them old jabs in, boy. The one thing I'll say about Van Persie, would be that all the years he was at the club, he only had one standout season, consistent, without any injuries or anything like that.
That was the season injury-free, though.
Yeah, but ultimately, when we needed him the most, he done a runner and left. And
take that out of it. Take that out.
Wait. No. I'm saying one good season out of how many? 8 or 9? One real good season, consistent.
No, but I
think ultimately, Robbie, we won nothing.
Injured all the time, and he never had nobody. And he's playing in a rubbish team, right?
But so was Mesut Ozil at points as well. He was playing in a diabolical team as well. I don't think that Van Persie's got a bigger legacy than Mesut Ozil at Arsenal. No, I don't agree with that.
No, I think he done more. I think season, right? That season when he scored over 30-odd goals, he was brilliant. He won the Golden Boot. We didn't win anything. I'm saying, I'm talking about him as an individual player, right? He's got to be in that 5.
Not for me.
Fabregas.
I don't mind them ones. I don't, because Fabregas for, there was seasons after seasons. My argument with Van Persie, it was one season, one consistent season.
That's only because of injuries. Only because of injuries.
But then you can't include him for one season.
It was one and a bit. It wasn't just one season. It was one and a bit good season.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Mesut Ozil. I really wouldn't.
I don't know. I think I would. And then Alexis definitely ahead.
Alexis was just phenomenal, regardless of how it ended and everything else. I wish it had ended differently, because he could have had a long-lasting legacy at Arsenal Football Club. He could have been a hero of the club in the same breath as some of the greatest names at the club.
Yeah. And you could possibly put Rosicky above Ozil, possibly. Again, he had a lot of injuries. You could possibly put Ramsey.
See, Ramsey. Now, Aaron Ramsey, what I will say about him is that that's a guy that actually won us a couple of cup finals because he scored winning goals. Yeah. So I would rather have Aaron Ramsey than a Van Persie for me all day. Aaron Ramsey, there's seasons of consistency and things he's done. And yes, he was injured. And did he really fulfill?
We didn't do nothing that season with RVP. He had more of an impact that I ever saw Ozil having a season.
I don't know, because there was a 2-year period, Robbie, where Ozil's impact on that team was phenomenal. It genuinely was.
It was good.
Yeah, it was. It was phenomenal. And everyone wanted to be around Mesut Ozil at that time. People wanted to play and be there. One of the reasons why Alexis came was because Mesut Ozil was there. And he knew what he was going to be feeding off. I don't mind the others because there's genuine reasons behind them. But Van Persie ahead of Mesut Ozil and his legacy at Arsenal, not for me, man. Not for me.
Listen, his legacy's tarnished because of the way he left. But whilst he was there, I mean, that season, he won the Golden Boot.
One season.
Golden Boot.
I'm not putting that one season ahead of, 7-odd years that Mesut Ozil's been at the club. And
has he done enough in those 7 years? How many out of the 7 years? How many good seasons? How many good seasons did he have out of the 7?
3 or 4.
See, inconsistent.
More than Van Persie.
Yeah, but that's only because of injuries, though.
Yeah, but you can't put him in ahead of him.
Only because of injuries.
You can't put him ahead of him. You know what we need to do? You know what we need to do?
Poll.
Van Persie, Ozil. Who's got the bigger legacy at Arsenal?
Well, people are going to go for Ozil because they hate Van Persie because of how he left.
No. I'm just
trying to be real here, right? Listen,
I know what you're saying. We're not on about talent
Van Persie because of how he left. But if I'm being real here, man, you got to look at it. Eh?
Not for me. The rest I agree with. But nah. Not for me. Not Van Persie.
But I don't think he's not lived up to, as I said, he was a world-class player, but he was the type of player that he needed other world-class players around him. He needed to be playing in a good team. He's not a guy. he's not a guy, Mesut Ozil, that when the chips are down, you turn around and say, "Yeah, Mesut, over to you, my friend."
Yeah, I know what you're saying in that respect, but then at the same time, that's where we need to blame the club.
Why?
Because they never supplied him with the players to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree. I'd agree with that. I think there was a time when, you know, we could have, as I said, put a good defensive midfielder behind him, got a good attacker in. Should have built the team around him more.
Oh, massively. Remember the season we only bought Petr Cech?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many, times where we sit there and we go, we need this player. We need somebody to go in there. You got to remember, during the time of Mesut Ozil at the club, the defence actually wasn't bad for Arsenal. We had a solid defence with the likes of Koscielny and Mertesacker and whatnot there. Our defence wasn't an issue. The problem was we didn't have that elite striker and a defensive midfielder like a Patrick Vieira or a 100% fit Abu Dhabi. Do you know what I mean? Somebody like that. If we would have got an elite striker and a defensive midfielder, then when you put the likes of Ozil and Alexis and those players there, we would have won things easily. We would have won things. But we always feel we're one or two players short as a football club. We're always the same. The moment we finally go and get an elite striker and bring in Aubameyang with a goal-scoring record to envy the best in Europe, our defence is crap. So it's always one thing after another. And by the time we sort our defence out now, Aubameyang and all that will be close to retiring.
The question moves to now replacing Mesut Ozil, because it's obvious we need a number 10. We know that Emil Smith-Rowe's been doing a great job, but we still need to replace Mesut Ozil. We're going to need a high-quality number 10.
Not Isco.
We've been linked with Buendia. Buendia looks like that's going to be very difficult to do this month. Why not Isco?
I've already explained myself 100 times about it. No Disco, no Isco, no nothing, no. Now till
the end of the season.
I'm done with the finished, past it players that are washed up, struggling at their own clubs, and we bring them in for a little bit of London life for 6 months, bit of a payday. No, I'm bored of it. I'm genuinely bored to the back teeth of those type of players coming into this football club. We've had too many loans that just simply haven't worked out. They've not, done anything to light the place up, help us in any way, shape or form. And it's just not good enough. For me.
Julian Draxler?
What is this, 2010?
Julian Draxler could be available alone till the end of the season.
Yeah, Julian Draxler was available when he was about 16 for Arsenal. I can't believe that he's still under 30. He's been around that long. Not for me. No. The boats are sailed.
All right, who then? Who?
What next? What are you going to do next? Jan Mavia, you're going to bring him up.
All right, who then?
Do you know what I mean?
Everybody, who?
Right, so what we need to look at, Emil's doing very well, but obviously there are question marks over his injury record, which is something that we've got to be wary of. But also at the same time, we need somebody that can not just play as an out-and-out 10, but also somebody that can play in the system. Because if you watch Emil's performances, they've changed in a couple of the games. In the Chelsea game, he never played as an out-and-out 10. He was actually positioned more to the left-hand side, which opened up spaces for the overloads. Then against Brighton, it was different. So you've got to have flexibility in it. And that's where I feel Mesut Ozil's biggest problem is the work rate side of things. Somebody like a Buendia, he's perfect in the sense that he can play. He can play. Listen.
What if you can't get him this month?
Well, you wait a minute. I'm trying to give my thoughts on this. Yeah. At the end of the day, that is somebody that can play across the front. There's somebody that can play across that line. if you look at his statistics in terms of his chances created, which is what they're going to be based on as an attacking midfielder, when he was in the Premier League with Norwich, he was the 4th highest chances created in the Premier League. And the only 3 players that were ahead of him were Trent Alexander-Arnold, plays for Liverpool, the champions, Kevin De Bruyne, do I need to say any more, and Jack Grealish. Now, Buendia was only 4 chances created behind Jack Grealish, who finished in 2nd, but he played over 1,000 minutes less. Now, people will sit there and say, okay, what about, you know, the conversion? And it's not his job to convert those chances. He's creating them. The problem is that Norwich had Pukki, who had a great first month in the Premier League and then disappeared after that. You know, Kevin De Bruyne has all of the talent in the world in front of him to take the chances. Trent Alexander-Arnold has the likes of Mane, Salah, and all of those players in front of him. Jack Grealish, his stats were impressive, given that he was also playing in another relegation-threatened club. But if you were going to compare the two between Villa and Norwich, Villa were streets ahead of Norwich. Norwich were absolutely dreadful in the Premier League. So at the end of the day, he's got the Premier League experience about him. I don't think that the £40 million is feasible at all. It's not something that I would look to pay either. When you put that into context, we pay £45 million for Thomas Partey. Is, you know, Buendia worth only $5 million less than Partey? No.
What's the solution then?
Probably 15, 20 million pound on a player.
And if they say no, then what?
Well, at the end of the day, with all due respect to Norwich City, you're Norwich City, we're Arsenal. We should be able to go to clubs like this, act like a big club and go, I'm taking your player. Leicester went to Norwich and took Maddison from there. You know, there's 2 players that left. There's 2 players that left Norwich. That was when they went
down. That was when they went down. We're talking about a team now that's down, but they've got they're top of the league in the Championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's worth way more to them. I saw a Norwich fan came on one of our lives the other day and he said, listen, it's worth £150 million to us to come up. Why would we sell Buendia and Todd Cantwell and Max Aarons? He goes, it ain't going to happen.
They're not going to sell the rest of them. But what I'm saying is,
if you don't, it's going to be 40 million or 35.
Arsenal
it'll have to be something ridiculous.
No, Arsenal have to come in there with a carrot worth dangling. I think that we've got players that we could offer to Norwich that will help them with their promotion push. Give them Eddie Nketiah.
And if they don't want him? If they don't want him, my thing is this. If they say no, because this is how transfers work, you might want something and you might have the money for something. But if they don't want to sell, you ain't getting it. So
it also depends on the
around. If that's the case, and a lot of the indications are at the moment that that is the case, and they're not willing to sell him in this January transfer window, then what?
Then you need the player to nudge him a bit as well. And we all
you can't get him. Then what? You can't get the player.
I'm already saying to you that the player has to start nudging if the club don't. And he's already started making noise. He's already started making noise. He's already done an interview on Argentinian TV and saying about.
He also did another interview where he said his head is with Norwich.
Well, obviously, every player does. Aubameyang wasn't going to leave Dortmund in January. Dortmund said that he weren't going nowhere. And then
what if the intel that's coming back from Arsenal is that he's definitely not going to leave this January transfer window? Then what do you do?
Then you go and have a look at this possible situation with Brandt at Dortmund and whether there's a loan there. Now, that's somebody that I would take on loan because I feel that he's got the quality. He's not finished or past it. Somebody like that, Julian Brandt. If that is a loan where I could go, you know what? I don't think that's a risk for 6 months, you know, and we can see where we are in 6 months' time, and then maybe look to go and get a world-class number 10. You know, in the summer. If we're going to loan someone, then I would look at a Julian Brandt. But that's if Dortmund are going to loan him out.
Again, Dortmund might only want the money. So then what?
But that's what I'm saying.
All right, and if you can't get Brandt, it might be difficult. Then,
well, the club have got plenty of options. I don't know what the rest of their options are. Those are mine. Those are my options.
One of the options could be Isco, or it could be.
It's not. I think the club have made it pretty clear that they don't.
Or it could be Draxler for 6 months. It's not even 6 months. It's like 4 months.
When was the last time? I don't even know the last time Draxler played. I honestly haven't been paying no attention at all to him.
Yeah, he's been playing. He plays more wide for PSG, more off the
bench.
bench.
You know the last time I see Draxler play? I actually watched him live, and that was in Singapore.
No, he's figured for PSG quite a few times, and could we need somebody in that position? And
I understand. I understand that, but it's very evident what the club are doing. They made it very clear we can't bring players in until we shift some players out. Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying is you still got to get them out first because
if Ozil goes, right, that's 300.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to explain it, right? The problem Arsenal had is that in the summer, we went and made moves and, looked to bring players in or whatever and had everything in place on the pretense that certain players were going to go. Socrates had a deal in place to leave. It fell through. Kolasinac had a deal in place. It fell through. They couldn't get rid of Mesut Ozil.
We know all this.
So what happened was...
They're going now, isn't it?
Okay, so what happened was the squad was overloaded. It was unbalanced. It was a mess.
We know this.
Now what they're doing is they're making sure they're not going to get stuck again. They're going to get rid of the dead wood first, completely gone, no ifs, buts, maybes, then bring in what they need. I feel that what I do look at, Robbie, tell you what the last 3 games have done is that they gave us a little bit of breathing space in January to get the job done. I think that if we wouldn't have got the results we did in the last 3 games, we would have been under so much pressure to go and get players immediately.
So what you're saying is the last 3 games are papered over the cracks then?
No. I'm not saying that, Robbie. I'm saying that what they've done is that they've navigated past those 3 games. Now they look at their next 3. We've got Newcastle in the cup. We know that you're going to play a lot of the second string players. It would be like a Carabao Cup, Europa League kind of team, but with a bit more strength to it. Then you've got Crystal Palace at home and Newcastle again at home. So they're looking at that and saying, we can navigate our way through to that period before we then go Southampton away, Wolves away, I think it is, Man United. There's not so much pressure to get it immediately done right now than what there would have been if we'd never got the results we did, is what I'm saying. It's just gave everyone a bit of breathing space to do it properly, not rush out there and get somebody for the sake of it, like an Isco.
You know what I mean? I hope those last 3 wins haven't papered over the cracks.
I don't think they have.
You guys don't start switching up. Mikel Arteta said he wants to bring in someone early in that window, right? He's nearly a week past now. I mean, I hope we get.
Hey, Robbie, it's nearly a week past. It's nearly a week past, and I've never seen a clear out like this.
Clear out is good, but I want to see someone coming in because we've got another game coming up. And as Mikel Arteta himself said, there's no point in bringing that person in late in the window. And I want to see them clear out nice. Ozil's going. I want to see the replacement coming in.
Have patience. By the time we played our next 3 games, it would have only been. We're talking
early in the window.
Let me speak, man. You're like Ty. You've always got to get early. Tuppence worth in, butting in all the time. Listen, we're probably, let me think, about 10 days away from completing those 3 games. Newcastle, Southampton, Newcastle. Around about 10 days, something like that. That's plenty of time to get these final ones out and new ones in.
The new one that's coming, the replacement for Ozil, that number type 10, that creative player. I don't even want to call it number 10. Creative player, for me, should be in before the game against Palace. Get him in early. Well, yeah, I mean, Arteta himself said we want to get that player in. We know what we need. Remember what they said? We know what we need, and we're going to get that person in early.
Yeah, and it's still not as easy as that.
Week down,
like you just said, like you said about Norwich. If Norwich dig their heels in and go, nah, then sometimes you might have
what you want, and then you've got to have, you know, I mean, this is one of the things that have upset me over the years about Arsenal. Have your options ready.
I believe they have got options,
right? And the options are probably going to be, and that's what I'm saying, right? You know, them options are probably going to be a loan deal because it's very difficult to get done. But have those options ready and ready to go.
I think they are, and I don't think
the transfer window up just because we have had 3 wins. Don't let that fool you.
Yeah, nobody is. Nobody is.
There's an opportunity now to move up the table if we do some good business.
Yeah.
And I quite frankly don't always trust this board when it comes to the things they say. They said they'd never make a player run into the last year of his contract. And I see pure players run into the last year of their contract. So, you know, you may be trusting. I'm not. I want to see some movement.
I never said I'm trusting. I'm saying that I believe that they've got a plan in place and I'm willing to wait and see what this plan is. And I'm excited about it. I want to see what it is. I want to see whether it's
excited.
Yeah, listen. Hey, what? What else is there to be excited about at the moment? We're locked indoors all the time. I might as well be back in prison.
Be excited.
You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I actually went out and got some fresh air today, man. I was just looking up in the sky, just breathing in air. Like, man, it's nice, man. It's like a 2-week lockdown's turned into 300 odd days. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
The FA Cups comes back this weekend. That was the thing that brought us a lot of joy last season. You sort of spoke about it briefly there about the type of team you think he might put out.
Yeah.
What sort of? I mean, first of all, who goes in goal?
Not Runnison.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what when I'm talking about getting business done early, right? Who starts in goal?
Leno.
I did a preview. I did a preview of the Newcastle Magpie channel, Matty. And Matty was saying, boy, he goes, from what have I seen of that Runnison, Robbie, I'd start Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll against Runnison.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. No.
Man, business needs to be done. Matt Macy's going out.
Yeah.
Right? Business needs to be done.
And they're doing it. Relax. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Runnison for me doesn't play in this game. Leno plays in this game for me. Leno plays.
He's injured.
But you can say that with anything. It's ifs, buts, and maybes, Robbie.
Get the business done early, right? So you wouldn't have Runnison in goal.
Nope.
Let's go for a team back 4.
We'll do a 4-2-3-1. That's what we've been playing. I'll have
Leno in goal.
I'll have Cedric at right back.
Right.
I'll have
signing.
I'll have David Luiz at right centre back.
Right.
Gabriel at left centre back.
Mm-hmm.
Left back. We ain't got Kolasinac no more. I'd probably Ainsley. Probably Ainsley.
Okay.
Centre midfield, Thomas Partey.
Starting.
Yeah. Getting ready for the Premier League games. He's back in full training. He's fit. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. Thomas Partey starts. Okay. There's your January signing already.
You starting to sound like them.
No, alongside him, I would have Mohamed El Neni. I feel that the pair of them played well when they last played together at Manchester United. El Neni didn't start the last game against West Brom. So, yeah, I think that one would be absolutely fine. Attacking 3, Pepe on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Martinelli on the left-hand side. Didn't play against West Brom, so it's an opportunity to get some more minutes in his belt. Mm-hmm. Willian the 10.
Willian in the 10.
Yep. And I would start Balogun up front.
Balogun, not Eddie.
Nope. I'd give Balogun a chance. Eddie's had plenty of opportunities now. No disrespect, but I'd play Balogun.
Okay, interesting team. So Leno, Cedric, Luiz, Gabriel, Ainsley, Maitland-Niles on the left. Partey, El Neni. And then Pepe, Willian, Martinelli, and Balogun. That's be quite. I like that team actually. I like that team.
That's why I'm a manager.
It's not bad.
It's all right.
I was just thinking about, right? This could be the one transfer window that if we only signed a goalkeeper, people might not moan. Because you remember that game? How could you only sign a goalkeeper? This might be one where we say, you know what? Because
the thing is, do you know what? It's kind of a double-edged sword in a way. It's like, do Arsenal and Mikel say, right, the best thing for Runarsson is to try and repair his mistakes from that last game and play him, and then he makes another howler? Or do they literally say, listen, nah, do not put him in the firing line?
I look at this game, right, and I look at that FA Cup game, and I'd say Newcastle got some physical forward players, man. Callum Wilson, Andy Carroll, Joe Linton.
What do you think they'll do?
Big power. Huh?
What do you think Newcastle will do? Because their priority is going to be the Premier League, isn't it?
Matty was saying to me that he thinks they'll go fairly strong, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, you know, because then when I then looked at it, I saw that Newcastle's game, and we've actually got a bit of a touch here, right? Because Newcastle, they're playing on the Tuesday in the Premier League.
Wow, and we're playing Thursday.
We're playing Thursday. So,
I told you our fixtures over Christmas and that haven't been too bad, you know.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, and let me just double check that, but I'm almost sure that they're playing on the Tuesday night, and I was like, wow, that really helps us because that's a quick turnaround, you know.
That's a massive turnaround. That's what.
By the way, Southampton versus Shrewsbury's off. Already a victim of the whole COVID thing, but yeah. What? So looking at it, on the Tuesday. Yeah. And it's the early kickoff as well. 6 o'clock kickoff. They got Sheffield United away. Right?
Jesus.
On the Tuesday night. And then, as you said, our game's not until the Thursday at 8 o'clock.
So we don't even then play until the Monday after.
We don't play until the Monday when we then play them, which I guess they'll have a longer rest leading into that game than we would have. It enables us to really go with quite a strong team. I mean, you could conceivably play your strongest team.
Yeah, but then they've got a lot of travelling. They've got a lot of travelling to do. When you think they've got to come down to London, they've then got to go back up to the northeast, go back down into Sheffield, go back to the northeast, and then come back down to London again.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, I think the advantage is with us. I think that Arteta wants to win this trophy again, so he'll go with a strong team. I can see the team even being stronger than what you've laid out there. I don't think it would be a Balogun up front. I think it will be. I think you'll play Eddie up front probably, but I think it'd be a strong team, man.
I think that's the lineup that
I really do see. Don't be surprised to even see Saka and guys like that starting that game.
Yeah, I think that's a strong lineup that I've given.
It is a strong lineup on paper. They got to deliver.
Yeah.
But anyway, looking forward to that. Looking forward to the FA Cup. We did start the defense of our FA Cup. It's the one thing that has held this team together over the past decade or so. Let's hope we can do well in it again this year. And, you know, and let's hope we can get some business done. And I want to hear your comments on Mesut Ozil. What is his legacy at Arsenal? Would love to hear from you guys. What is Mesut Ozil's legacy at Arsenal?
Can I just ask as well, where's the game being shown on Saturday against Newcastle? What channel?
I think it's BBC.
Oh, I might be up level with you this week. Then.
Yeah, you're a dodgy stream. unless you haven't paid your TV license, and then you won't even have that. Right?
What's the TV license?
Yeah. You're going to have a knock on your door, bro, I'll tell you. Right?
No, mate, listen, BBC, yes, I might be up to date. If I'm not, then boy.
So listen, thanks for watching today's show. Today's show sponsored by Profit Accumulator. Don't forget the link is in the description. DT, thank you very much. And thank you to everybody. Stay safe out there in this time of lockdown. And we'll be back next week with another podcast. This video is supported by Profit Accumulator. Profit Accumulator helps you to earn extra money by doing something called match betting. Match betting isn't gambling. And when you do it properly, and I mean properly, you can't lose. Now you always see these promotions by bookmakers like Ladbrokes, William Hill's, Corals, offering a £50 bonus to customers. So you sign up and you might place a £50 bet on a coin toss landing on heads and a £50 bet on the same coin toss landing on tails. Now whichever way it lands, it don't matter because you won't win or lose any money because you've covered all of the outcomes. However, you get the £50 bonus, so you're still £50 up. Now lots of people try to do match betting on their own, but it's very time consuming and not always easy if you don't know what you're doing. That's where Profit Accumulator come in. Even if you don't know anything about sports, they walk you through everything step by step, showing you how to accumulate money into your bank account. So get involved right now. Click the link in the description and sign up to Profit Accumulator right now.